If every decision in your business has to go through you, if every mistake feels like it's yours to fix, and if you're working 80 hours a week but still broke, the issue isn't your crew or your clients, it's you.
Hello, this is the HackHour Podcast. A show where it's all about helping real, everyday, hard-working remodelers learn the secrets to having it all in life and business. And now, here's your host, Mike Minges.
Welcome back to the HackHour Podcast. I'm Mike Minges, longtime remodeler and founder of the Remodeling Academy, where we help transform remodelers from skilled craftsmen into confident, successful business owners. Look, at the Remodeling Academy, we're all about equipping you with the tools and strategies to build a business you're truly proud of. One that not only delivers exceptional results for your clients, but also creates the life you've always dreamed of. Whether you're here to learn how to attract the high-paying client, hire and retain the top-notch team, or finally earn what you truly deserve for your hard work, guys, this podcast is for you. So let's jump in. Here we are back at the Hack Hour, and this is episode 43. And I'm going to start with a little bit of a background here for you. Look, if you're working a lot and you're still running into issues and you definitely feel like you're always having to be at the job site, the good news is we can break that cycle. All right. And by the end of this episode, you'll understand how and why. All right. So I'm going to start with a little bit of a story. A few years back, right, I'm starting my remodeling business. I've hired my first few guys. And I remember feeling the burden of having to try to be in multiple places at the same time. It just so happened that on this one day, I had a client that wanted me to meet with them early to go over a proposal for a job. At the same time, some material that had been back ordered just arrived to a supply house, and I had said to the guys, I'll pick that up on the way to the job for you. And at the same time, I had some tools that needed to be at another job site. So my plate was full, and it was, just another day, right? But here was the problem. I'm driving. It's already before sunrise, and my phone is already ringing because the guys are on the crew are at the site, and they're trying to figure out, like, hey, when and where are these materials? Like, when are they going to get here? I've got the client texting me saying something happened with their daughter as high school. Can they reschedule? They're like, can you come a half hour earlier or a half hour later? And I also had the supplier for another job trying to reach me to let me know that something else was on back order and did I want to put in some sort of a substitution. And it was just too much going on all at once, right? I cannot handle 3 and 4 conversations like that while I'm still trying to drive and get where I'm going. So you can imagine that by the time I finally get onto the job site, I'm already frustrated. It's another chaotic morning, right? I've got guys standing at the job site. They're waiting around because they wanted me to give them some further instructions. We had a sub that was on site, and they were about to install something not in the right location. And at the time, my guys, they didn't operate in a place where they would correct the sub. They usually allowed me to do those things. So too many balls were in my court, right? I was responsible for too much. And man, the whole thing was just a wreck that day. And I felt as if I'm not here all the time, it's a nightmare. And I snapped at one of the guys. I was like, why can't you just figure all this out? Why do you guys always need me around? And he said, we don't know how you want it done. You haven't told us. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. I finally realized it then that, man, I'm really not running a business. I'm just like a glorified babysitter. I'm the problem here. It's not my guys. It's not the clients. It's me. I have capable people that could be doing way more If I was more organized and had more things planned out in advance so that everything didn't fall back on me, right? I created this situation for myself. I didn't like it. It was frustrating, and I wasn't 100% certain how to get out of it. So that day, I made a decision. I'm going to figure this out. And that is what I want to help you with, is getting to the place where not everyone is dependent on you. See, guys, look, it isn't about whether you can work hard enough. It's whether or not you're able to get out of your own way. So let's picture this. Here we are. We're standing at the back of your pickup truck, right? We're at your job site. We got the tailgate down, and, we're both, the boots are muddy. We're building an addition, and you're frustrated because you've been really busting your butt all day and day in, day out, and you're thinking that you're doing everything right. It's the best you can do, right? You're the first one on the site every day. You're always the last one to leave, and somehow it's still just not enough, right? Your phone, it just keeps ringing. The voicemails keep piling up. There's just another text message. There's another email, and the bills, they're piling up, and the crew, they can't seem to finish anything without you being there to help dictate every change and, making sure that everything's just buttoned up the way you want. And does that sound familiar? Now, look, again, I hate to bring it up, but the problem, it's not out there. The problem is in here, right? It's with us, right? Most of us, we're running our businesses like a job and not a company. And here's why this happens, right? And understand this is why so many of us end up in this exact spot. A lot of us are perfectionists. And in the beginning, that serves us well because we pay attention to detail. We make sure that we do a really good job, and we do handle things ourselves. And that gives us like the initial propulsion to get started and make it work. The issue is that when you think that you're the only way to guarantee the job gets done right is by you doing it yourself, then that becomes the problem, right? The other thing is, some of us, and I can speak for myself, your first few hires probably aren't the best. And so now you don't trust your crew 100%. Right? And maybe they do a decent job. But then again, maybe you've been burned a couple times where they made some serious mistakes when you weren't around supervising, right? Or maybe you just don't believe that they can make the decision like you can, right? Because, they're just working for you. You're in charge. None of this will serve us well long term. Another thing is, we've talked about this. Ego definitely gets in the way. Like deep down, some of us are scared that somebody else might be better at certain parts of our job than we are. And the hardest thing to get over, I think, for a lot of guys is to realize that's the problem you want to have. You want your team to be better than you, right? And many of us were afraid of letting go of the control because we don't want the pain of the problem, right? We've built this business. We built it with our own hands. And that idea of giving up the control and stepping back, it scares you to death because you've been bit before and you don't want it to happen again, right? And then the other factor is many of us, this comes up for me time and time again, every day, right? I just don't know what I don't know about a certain thing. And let's be real. Most of us didn't go to that specialty remodeler business program, right? We didn't get trained in how to run this remodeling business, where most of us are just trying the best we can. And it's in the moment that all these decisions are being made, and you don't have a huge background in how to do it. Nobody taught you how to do it. So yeah, I've got the trade skills, but nobody really taught me how to swing, and run this business. How do I lead these guys? How do I delegate? How am I going to set that system up that actually works? So Guys, if your team can't finish a project without you, if many of the tasks that need to be done every day are dependent on you, then this is your wake-up call to say, man, it's my fault. I'm the only one that can change this, right? Recognize that, like, unfortunately, I haven't trained them properly. I haven't set up clear expectations, right? I haven't built and put in place the systems that are required for me to set up my team so that they succeed, and they succeed well, and they succeed without me being there. So, I mean, here's the hard truth. If you're spending every day solving problems, it's because you've built a business and a system that depends on you being the answer to everything. And again, initially, that's a good thing. It's what helped got you into the business, but long term, it's a problem. And that's why you're failing, and that's why you can't grow past a certain point, because you're the bottleneck, right? So, all right, now how do we turn this around, right? Here's what we need to go from being that bottleneck to being the leader that our business needs. Got to get clear on our mission, all right? Our crews can't make good decisions especially if they don't know what the goal is. So we have to be very clear and spell it out in the simplest of terms. For some of us, that means that each day we give the guys a set of tasks like, hey guys, this is the goal for today. If we're framing, we're going to make sure we get the first floor of the addition done. We want to set the floor joist for the second floor today. That's our goal, right? Or, hey guys, the goal today is to make sure that all the wall cabinets are installed, and we set half of the base cabinets. Whatever it is, we establish what it is first thing in the morning, or it's established the day before or the week before, and there's a schedule. There's multiple ways to be looking at this, but at a minimum, let's just start with making sure we have a goal for each day. And then next thing we have to do is we want to start teaching the crew to think more like we do, so that they understand easier what we are wanting in many situations, right? So we have to stop telling people, our guys, what to do, and we start teaching them how to make the decisions that we generally make. Like, guys, that's an awesome question, and I appreciate you asking. When I am faced with that question, this is the criteria that I put in place to make that decision, right? And you start giving them a framework to work off of. And this might put you a little bit outside your comfort zone at first, because you haven't really ever thought about how you make those decisions, and trying to explain it could be a little rough the first go around, but believe me, this is the way you want to go. And once people start understanding why you make the decisions that you make, and how you go about making those decisions, and how you're looking at like the long-term plan, then guys can start appreciating, and they'll get behind you, and they'll go with you, and they will start operating like you. Now, the next thing is we have to learn to trust our crew to handle it. And the best way I found to do this is you start small and let the guys start to handle like one piece of the project at a time, right? And start, 1 week, say, hey, this is now on you guys. I want you guys to be responsible for this. And first thing you have to do when you're teaching is first you demonstrate exactly how you do it and how you would like ideally for them to do it, right? Then the next time you have them do it, but you watch over their shoulder. It's like you ride alongside them. You're like, hey, I'm right here, but I want you to do it this time. And then the third time, you distance yourself and say, hey, I think you can handle it this time. Why don't you go ahead and make it happen? I'll come back later and we'll take a look at the final result, right? So it's very important that you follow those 3 steps, and that is how you can build the confidence in your team. The next thing to do is And again, this is challenging. This is one of the great things about working with us. Many of you know we have the systems, but somebody has to build the system. You have to create the process for everything. Like, what's the process for client communication on a job site? Well, the process that I prefer on my job sites is my lead carpenter or project manager. That is the only person that talks in any detail about the job with the homeowner, right? And my lead carpenter, my project manager, that is the only person that will dictate what people on the job are doing, right? If a sub needs direction, it comes from the lead carpenter or the project manager. If one of the staff employees needs direction, that again comes from the lead carpenter or the project manager, right? If I, as the business owner, if I show up on site, I'm not explaining to the guys what to do. I'm explaining, hey, talk to Jerry. Jerry's the project manager. He's in charge, and I trust Jerry. Like, guys, this is Jerry's job. You got to work with him, right? And that instills the confidence in the team that you've put underneath you, because you don't want to undermine your own team, and you don't want to be the go-to. For some of you, this is a tough thing because you like being the answer man. And what I would challenge is, if you want to grow a large team, you do not want to be the answer man. You want the people below you to be empowered to make those decisions, right? You should only have like the higher level 1 or 2 people asking you for questions and answers, okay? So again, we talk about this a lot, and you guys are getting very familiar at how to do this, but check your ego at the door, right? Every time you show up on the job, every time you have a meeting, or think about it, right? If you're afraid that one of your guys is going to be better than you and you're holding back your business, right? Great leaders build great teams by finding, choosing, developing the greatest players. So that's what you want to look for. You want the person who could build and run the team the best, way better than you could, right? So that you can focus on getting the next thing, and then helping that person who's amazing at this, helping them get all the people and the supporting staff that they need. That's how this all really starts to come together. So am I saying that it's easy to do in the every day? It's not. It's challenging. And it does come with headaches. It will come with surprises along the way. But I will say that if you stick with it, it does get easier as you start putting more pieces of the puzzle together. And what I mean by that is, when I brought in my first couple guys, after I learned this process and I started teaching them the way that I would like things to be done in my company, and this is what I prefer, you start noticing the guys doing that, right? You start seeing, like, look at that. Look at the way he's putting that in over there. That's exactly how we do it here. And then those guys will now teach the next set of guys how it's done, right? Because I've effectively handed that job off. I've brought the guy under me, taught them how to handle it effectively, so now they can teach the next person. So now I can move on to another area in my business, all right? So look, remember, most of us, we didn't start this business just to work ourselves into the ground, right? We started this business to build something great. We wanted to provide for our family. We wanted to create more freedom, right? And we wanted to do what we love. And the way we do that is by helping others learn to do great things for us as well. So remember, if you keep trying to be the answer to every problem, you're just never going to get that success that you're looking for. Again, the challenge isn't working harder. It is working smarter. So let's imagine this for a minute, right? Let's think into our future. Let's see what tomorrow and all the other tomorrows could look like. Imagine this. You're up early, you're driving to one of the jobs, and your phone isn't blowing up every minute, right? You don't have 100 voicemails or 100 text messages, because you have people under you that know how to do their job, and communication is flowing to the appropriate people, right? your crew, your team, they know how to handle things, and they're making it happen, right? You're making it happen because you brought together this A team, and it's all working. You're not drowning in paperwork. You're not chasing down, responding to every little problem, right? Because your systems that you've put in place take care of all these details. It is a night and day difference. Some of you will be shocked at how well your business will run when you get out of being the answer man and just get out of the way. You'll finally have the time to actually focus on growing the business, right? Landing some bigger jobs, right? Spending more time with your family. Look, this is not just a dream. This is what happens when you stop being the answer to every problem and you start being that leader that your business needs. So for those of you that are ready, which I know is many of you, here's how we take that next step, right? You get over and you get into our industry first 5-day remodeler challenge, right? And I know that many of you are ready. You've been looking for that answer. It's like, how do I take my remodeling business to the next level? This is how you do it, right? You don't wait for success just to hope and come to you magically, right? They talk about being a hopium addict, and where I'm hoping it gets better. I hope tomorrow is different. I hope the next client works out. Now, you're going to stop being a hopium addict, and you are going to start making it happen by making a different choice today, right? You're going to join our 5-day challenge. You're going to go over to remodelingriches.com, and boom, you're going to start transforming your business today. Guys, in this challenge, in 5 days, you're going to learn proven strategies that are going to immediately boost your profitability, right? You're going to discover the secrets to finally setting yourself up for a successful year ahead. How to do that, what it looks like. You're not going to be slow next year. No, sir. You're going to access all the tools. You'll have the techniques that are finally going to put you ahead of the competition so that you're not losing all those jobs. You're now winning those jobs. So I know many of you are going to take me up on this, and I'm excited to give it out, right? So the first 25 people who sign up for that challenge, we've got some extra bonus resources that are designed just to give you, look, that extra edge in the market. And if it were me, I wouldn't want to let the competition beat me to them, okay? I'd rather have that knowledge and those expertise, because that's going to help me just close 1 or 2 more deals at a time. And that's what I need to get over the hump and make it happen for next year. So no, the time to act is now. Go to remodelingriches.com, secure your spot in the 5-day remodeler challenge. Look, take the first step towards a more profitable, successful business. It's right there. Okay, guys, it's better for you to have this resources than your competition. So don't wait. Register now. Take control of your remodeling business today. Your success is ready for you. The only question is, are you ready for it? Don't delay. Take action today. As always, I thank you for listening to the HackHour Podcast. Please like this episode, subscribe, share it with somebody else that will benefit. We want, again, to reach as many people in the remodeling industry as possible. If you can help 5 other guys in your area raise, or not necessarily in your area, but if you can help 5 other guys raise their prices, you will help raise your prices. It works for everybody. So, again, this is Mike Menges reminding you to keep striving, keep growing, keep winning. Until next time, take care and stay inspired.
Thank you for listening to the HackHour Podcast. It would be awesome if you would leave us a quick review on iTunes. To further your remodeling success, go to remodelingriches.com.